Hi, I'm Amanda Morgan from notjustcute.com, and I wanted to share with you one of my favorite math and numeracy activities to use with young children. I call it the math bag. Now, I'll have some details typed up below, and I'll have a printable PDF that you can use with this as well. But I thought that the best way that I could explain how to use this is to actually show you. So that's why I'm using the video today. Now I'm going to show you a lot of different things that you can do with this activity. You can meet a lot of different objectives, teach a lot of different concepts, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you use them all at once. But I'm going to show you a wide variety of them so that you can know how you can implement this to reinforce the objectives or the learning that you want to reach at this point, and hit some of the interest levels and the ability levels of the children that you work with. So first off, some of the things that you'll need for this activity is, first off, a math bag. And I created my very fancy math bag with just a canvas tote. I used some permanent markers and just made our number bag. Some numbers all over it. So nothing fancy, whatever works for you. So that's what you send home with the children. There's also a folder inside with the printable, which I will link below, that explains to them and their parents what they're supposed to do with this math bag or number bag. And it's actually a combination between a math and number activity and also basically a show and tell or sharing activity. So you're getting these math skills, but also some social skills and language skills built in with the child as they share it. Now for you, as the teacher or facilitator, it's also helpful, I think, to have some Unifix cubes. I think that helps with the 1-to-1 ratio, and it's also helpful to have a number chart nearby so that children can relate the numbers as they fall in order. So you'll send the math bag or the number bag home with a child with a note inside, and within that note also you have, I usually send home 3 numbers, and depending on the age level that you work with, maybe you just want 2 or what have you. So there's 3 numbers in that folder as you send it home. So they go home with that note that says to find some things they want to share with the class and show and talk about, and that they can choose one of those numbers so that they can bring something to share with that number. So for an example, for this example, it's the number 7. So they would use this number 7 as the card they would choose, and they would put 7 items in here. I had also included a number 4 and a number 5. So they got to choose something they wanted to share and make it fit with 7, 4, or 5. Now I also put on my note for parents, if there's something they're just dying to share and it doesn't work with the numbers, to just go with it. We can wing it, send in what they really want. But I really haven't found that that's been a problem with the children that I have worked with. They can usually find plenty of things they want to share. I've also had parents who are concerned because their child will just pick out 7 random items and put it in here, and that also works. It's a very fluid, flexible activity. So we're going to pretend that I have a child with me here that has brought this number bag to share. And it's a great social and language activity because the first thing I'll have them do is the child who brought it will stand up, and I'll have them look at the children and tell me if they're ready to listen. And it's a great reinforcer to have a child looking at the other children to tell you whether or not they're ready. It reinforces those listening skills and what you're looking for, and it's interesting to get that peer feedback for them. So when they say that they're ready, then I first pull out the cards that were sent home. So I'll say, let's see, one of the numbers that they could have brought is the number 5. And then I'll take the Unifix cubes and let's count the number 5. 1, 2, 3, and the children are counting along with me. 4 and 5. So they're counting that 1-to-1 ratio of counting. It's reinforced with the number 5. Then I'll put them up on my little pocket chart here so they have a visual representation. We'll do the same thing with 4, and you all know how to count to 4, so I'm just going to pull that out for you. So here's 4. And lastly, 7. So again, I would count every number out with them, but because you guys already know how to count, I'm not going to do that. So here's 7, and we would put them up here. And then I like to talk about which one is the biggest number or the smallest number, and that's another reason why I like to have the Unifix cubes. First, we've done 1-to-1 counting, but then we can also compare which is the biggest number or the smallest number, and sometimes they like to just compare them this way. And there's sometimes I might send home kind of a pattern, 2, 4, 6, and they'll notice that it's 2 steps. Someone may notice with this one that it's 1 step and then 2 steps. 1 step from 4 to 5, and 2 steps from 5 to 7. Different things that we might talk about comparing the numbers, talking about greatest and smallest. We might put them in order, whatever works with your group and the interests that you have right then. So once we've talked about the 3 numbers that were taken home, the possibilities, then I'll have the child share what they brought in their bag. And sometimes I'll have the children, I'll say, now let's look at the bag, let's see how full it is, and have them kind of estimate. Do you think there are 5 things in here, or 4 things, or 7 things? And maybe do a little estimating. Or sometimes I'll even take the objects out of the bag, and without, as the child is taking them out and showing what they have, in this case, I've got some cars and motorcycles here. As the child's taking them out and putting them around, I might ask the children to estimate. Say, without counting, I want you to guess how many they've brought. Do you think they brought 4 or 5 or 7? And have them do a little estimating if that's a skill that you might be working on. So the child will share what they brought, talk about it, maybe why they like it, what they like about it, and then we'll count together with the children, again, with the 1-to-1. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then they'll find out, so which number is that? It's the number 7. So again, we're reinforcing a lot of 1-to-1 counting, what the number, the numeral, actually looks like, what that amount looks like. For some children, it might be helpful if you then take your number 7 here and do again 1-to-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, showing that they're the same. That's an option as well. So once we talk about the number, we've established which of the 3 numbers they brought. Then a lot of times what I like to do is a little bit of sorting and categorizing. And it's really fun to see the children. The first time you do it, you may have to show them the categories. And as you do this activity more frequently, it's fun to see how many different ways they can categorize the same group. And that's a great skill to learn, that it's not just a matter of big and small. We can sort everything big and small, but that you can sort one group multiple ways. That's a great skill to learn. So with this group, for example, we might sort orangish colors and not orangish colors. That's one way we might be able to sort this group. Another might be motorcycles and cars. It's another way we can sort. Looks like we've got a convertible over here, so maybe things that have a roof and things that don't. There's just a lot of different ways, and it's fun because the kids will surprise you. Sometimes they'll suggest something that you hadn't realized would be a great way to sort. Sometimes, as I mentioned, sometimes people will bring just random items, all their favorite toys, and we've sorted between hard things and soft things, so hard toys and plush toys, or by color, pinkish purple and not pinkish purple. Sometimes we'll put into 3 groups. Maybe there's a blue group. In fact, with this group, we've got kind of an orange group going on here, and we have orange and not orange, and do just a 2-group sort. But you could also sort again and say, here's the orange group, and then we've got a blue group and a black group. So you can do more than 2 groups. It's another way to teach sorting, to open up some more flexibility in the sorting. So I hope that gives you some ideas of how you might be able to use this activity to kind of take your show and tell to another level. You're still getting the kids opportunity to stand up in front of a group, talk to them about something that they like and find interesting, but you're also taking a lot of number skills. Again, numeral recognition, 1-to-1 counting, sorting. You can find on here which number you came up with. Sometimes I'll have children that want to put all of these together, 5 and 4 and 7, and count how big that is and count it up here. Sometimes we'll take these apart and do a little patterning, or if we've sorted something, we can then do some patterning with what we've sorted. You can pretty much take any math concept and work it into this activity, and I love it because I feel like it's a little more meaningful because it focuses around something that the children find interesting, something that they brought in and wanted to share with their friends and let them see. And the children find it interesting as well. There's consistency with these manipulatives that you use every time, but it also brings some novelty with whatever the real object is that the children brought in. And that makes it more interesting and more meaningful, and teaches them that math and numeracy isn't just about hundreds charts and flashcards and Unifix cubes, but it's about real things that they like. So those are a few of the ways you can share the skills. Again, with bringing in language skills, I'll often from there ask children if they have any questions about what was shared. And so then we get to work on whether you're telling a story or asking a question and finding out new information. It's again another language skill and social skill that can expand this activity. So you can make it a really big activity if you have children with the attention span and the interest and the level that they're at, if you want to make it very long, or you can make it a very short where it's just, here are the numbers, here's the objects, let's count 1 to 1, let's count 1 to 1, and that could be all it is. But you could integrate so many different concepts, and I hope that this is a helpful activity for you that you might be able to implement in a classroom situation or in a play group or in your own home, where you can make counting and math concepts come to life by using interesting objects. So I hope that's helpful for you. Again, there's a printable below that gives some more instructions and you could use in your math bag folder. I'd like to hear your ideas on how you might use this as well, so please comment in the comment section. So again, my name is Amanda Morgan and I'm from notjustcute.com, sharing this activity with you, and I hope that you'll join me again next time as we talk about some more activities.